Hey everybody, it's Get Your Rocks Off again. Welcome to Thursday. This time coming at you on location from the 16th green at Lone Tree Golf Club in Chandler. And we're going to talk some music now. Before we get started with the bracket again, which is Van Halen versus Def Leppard, as you know. My guest, Megan Ridgway. I have another guest, Mike Ridgway, coming on later as well. She is holding the new Iron Maiden CD, double CD live, called Made in England '88. I have the DVD right here. If you haven't picked it up yet, you need to do that right now. You need to stop watching this video and go get it. It's absolutely incredible. Documentaries, live concerts, everything you could imagine. So, gonna have you do your pick first. Def Leppard or Van Halen? Give us some explanation too.
Okay. As much as I like David Lee Roth, who's a little nutty, and Eddie Van Halen, I honestly have to go with Def Leppard. I've seen him live twice. I saw him in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I saw him in Boise, and I pretty much grew up with them. And you know, they do have some sappy love songs that I like. Being a girl, pretty good for those little dances at high school. So my pick is Def Leppard. They're making a comeback. So you know, I'm pretty happy with Def Leppard.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you for being on the show.
I'm gonna go. Bye.
Megan Ridgway, everybody.
Okay.
And my next guest, Mike Ridgway, carrying an orange for no reason.
Green That's right.
Welcome back to the show, Michael.
Just picked off the tree.
All right. Well, now
Glad to be back.
Now pick off the bracket. Who you got?
Well, I'll tell you, I have. Here's the thing. I like Van Halen, obviously a lot, but I mean, it's all about longevity with me. And the thing is that Van Halen with David Lee Roth finally just put out a new album in 2012, Tattoo, and they haven't had one since 1984 with him. You know, are they Triumph or are they a train wreck? That's the thing right there. And the thing is that they have had so many issues over time. I mean, we can get into that later if you want. You know, Def Leppard for me. I've got to vote for Def Leppard. Boy, they've stuck together, and they have a world following of fans. You know, that's the other thing. You know, they tour worldwide, and Van Halen, you know, they're more of a U.S. band. They don't get out very often anymore. It's just, and when they do tour, it's just one of those things where, you know, are they coming to my city or are they going to cancel? You never know what's going to happen with those guys. And Def Leppard, those guys keep plugging away. And so I got to go with those guys. And there are a lot more reasons we can get into later, too.
Okay, I'm going to get to my vote in just a second here, but I've been put in a position of having to defend Van Halen here a little bit. First and foremost, the album was not titled Tattoo. That was the single.
The single, Tattoo.
Different Kind of Truth, I believe, was the album title. If you haven't gotten it, absolutely incredible album, and that's why I do want to say, in terms of longevity, Van Halen does have longevity, and they have stayed around quite a long time. Their live shows have not had as much longevity, which I'll get to later. But as far as albums and the body of work, they have kept up with Def Leppard. And another thing I would say to the notion that you don't know whether Van Halen is a train wreck or a triumph, I agree with that, but it could also be said, and has been said, in a lot of documentaries, a lot of interviews from other musicians, that you could say the same for Def Leppard. In fact, it's been long held that Def Leppard is a cursed band. Rick Allen losing his arm, Steve Clark losing his life, Pete Willis just being the worst alcoholic in a band of 5 alcoholics and getting kicked out for it. So I will defend Van Halen on that end. And let me tell you the criteria I used here. With musicianship, I gave Def Leppard a slight edge. Joe Elliott, incredible singer, and better singer than David Lee Roth, in my opinion. Probably not quite as good vocally, just purely vocally, as Sammy Hagar, who you also have to take into account here. But Rick Allen, more of a pioneer on the drums. Rick Savage, in my opinion, a better bass player than Michael Anthony or Wolfgang Van Halen. And you know, so slight edge to Def Leppard musically. Influence, I give Van Halen the slight edge. Again, being one of the few American bands to have that much influence is a big factor, obviously. Def Leppard was more part of a movement that they didn't start.
Right.
Van Halen completely started their own movement. So I would give the influence edge to Van Halen a little bit. As far as the live show, I'm with these guys. I do give the edge to Def Leppard, a little bit more than slightly as well, because I've heard reviews of David Lee Roth not sounding so great lately. The stage show of Van Halen is what keeps them up with Def Leppard, but Def Leppard's also second to none in that category as well. So you can't really give Van Halen the edge there. As far as the overall body of work and the library, I probably give Van Halen a slight edge as well, because of the amount of influence, like I was saying, their albums have had all the way up until this present day. And their albums have also sold slightly better as a whole. However, the albums themselves, I give Def Leppard another slight edge, because the first 6 albums that Def Leppard put out, On Through the Night, High and Dry, Pyromania, Hysteria, Adrenalize, and Retroactive, absolutely untouchable. Completely brilliant, musically, lyrically, everything like that. They do have some sappy love songs. Van Halen has some sappy pure sex songs, which don't have much meaning, and I think the lyrical content is the thing that, for me, sets the two completely apart. Def Leppard has very thoughtful songs, whereas Van Halen is more of a party band. So lyrical content goes to Def Leppard by a million miles, and that's probably, in a matchup that's so even between these two bands, that's probably the thing that sets me apart, and so I vote for Def Leppard as well.
So how many times have you seen Def Leppard?
I believe 8.
And how many times have you seen Van Halen?
0.
And why is that?
Why is that? Because Van Halen does not tour nearly as extensively.
That's
to
my
this
big
day.
reason too.
And
that's my big reason. Even for me, and I've been here longer on this earth than you have. Even back in the '80s, there was a time when Van Halen just stopped. It just wasn't happening anymore.
I agree.
And so for me, I just had this thing. When you said that thing about longevity, I know Van Halen has had that, and people go to see Van Halen because of Eddie Van Halen. That's my guess. Maybe David Lee Roth, maybe Sammy Hagar back in the day. But boy, you go see Def Leppard and you see all of these guys. All those guys. It's just
Def Leppard's certainly the more stable band.
Absolutely, yeah.
When I referred to longevity, I think I was more talking about simply musically, the recorded versions of songs.
Right.
It's very clear. Def Leppard has had the more stable and the better live career.
Right.
There's no doubt in my mind about that. Whether they have the better live show, you can debate. I personally still think Def Leppard has the edge on that.
Right. Even if they were to tour together, Def Leppard closes, Van Halen opens, right?
I would hope so, but I wouldn't count on it. I would hope so, but I wouldn't.
I guess it depends on where, because maybe back in the UK or they would probably.
If it wasn't in the U.S., Def Leppard would close.
Could be.
I'm almost certain about that.
Yeah.
In the U.S., I think it would be a question.
People were all excited when Van Halen was starting this tour with David Lee Roth, and then they started coming to some of these cities, and they canceled their tour last year.
They did cancel their tour.
Are you kidding?
And they also got some, at least David Lee Roth, got some not so favorable reviews from not just concert reviewers but fans.
Right.
Upset with his voice, his stage presence. I mean, the guy's David Lee Roth. You're not going to get sick of watching him.
No, yeah. He does great, yeah.
But I did hear a lot about his voice not being quite there on this tour. Joe Elliott gets the occasional complaints for that, but the good thing about Joe is that he kind of admits defeat on some level.
Right.
With that, he says, "Hey, I'm only human. I do my best here," and most of the times, I think. Probably every time but one that I've seen Def Leppard, I can honestly say Joe Elliott put forth his best effort and put out a voice that was incredible. So
sounds good, yeah.
Bite my sunglasses like an intellectual here.
Yes.
And I'll leave it up to you guys. Same time limit as Tuesday. Don't forget, pick up Made in England 88, the CD or the DVD. You could do both like we did. And you have till 4 p.m. Pacific time, which is where we're at here on this golf course because life is so hard.
I don't know if you can see the golf course.
5 p.m. in Idaho and Utah, if you are listening back there, which I know a lot of you are. Get the vote out, Def Leppard or Van Halen. I will see you guys Tuesday back in the actual studio. Have a good one.